So to the viewers, welcome to another session of English, a continuation of what we were looking at yesterday in the previous lesson on question tags. And before we continue, for those ones perhaps watching me for the first time, my name is Mr. Wanyonyi, a teacher of English at Ansaaru Nursery and Primary School in the umbrella of Ansaaru Sunna Trust. So a very brief recap on what we looked at yesterday. Yesterday we looked at three things. First and foremost, I would like you to remind yourselves of the definition of question tags. And basically, number two, the rules governing what a question tag is. And three, the general rules one has to apply when looking or answering questions that entails question tags. So briefly, if I beg to remind you, is that we gave a definition of question tags as a question that is usually placed at the end of a statement seeking for clarification or confirmation from the listener. Seeking for clarification or confirmation from the listener. And we gave an example, for example, as you have taken lunch. You have taken lunch. So in this case, you have taken lunch is a statement we are referring to. The statement we are referring to, and the question tag is haven't you? Haven't you? So when you say you have taken lunch, haven't you? This haven't you is being used to pause a question that's paused to seek clarification or confirmation to whoever you are asking to find out if indeed he has taken lunch or not. That's why we say that a question tag is a question which is normally placed after the statement seeking for confirmation or clarification from the listener. That was one. Number two, we also agreed that question tags normally take four rules, basic rules. One, at the beginning of this statement, you should start the statement in a capital letter. Very important to note that. In a capital letter. Two, you should end a statement in a comma. Very important to note that. Three, now introduce the question tag in a small letter. So introduce a question tag in a small letter. And four, the last one, end a question tag in a question mark. Since it's a question, in a question mark. These four basic rules are very important, and they will assist you when you are perusing through KCP papers. You'll find this question tested in the year 2008 in question tags on punctuation. So please note that at the beginning of the statement, have a capital letter, end the statement in a comma, introduce the tag in a question in a small letter, then end the question tag in a question mark. Those are the four basic rules. Then on general rules, just to have a quick recap, general rules when answering questions on question tag. Number one, we agree that to a positive statement, we are supposed to add a negative question tag. Then number 2, to a negative statement, add a positive question tag. Then number 3, the helping verb in the statement corresponds the helping verb in the question tag. However, the last rule which we talked about was when you realize that the examiner or the author has given you a statement and the statement does not bear the helping verb in that statement. What are you supposed to do? I gave out 4 basic steps. 1, in any case you come across such a question whereby there is no helping verb in the statement, don't panic. It should not cause any cause for alarm. 1, identify the subject in the sentence. Thus, the subject can be singular or the subject can be plural. That's the first thing. Number 2, identify the nature of the statement. Which kind of statement are you dealing with? That is the statement positive in order to take a negative tag, or is the statement negative in order to take a positive tag? 3, find out in which tense is the statement. That is the statement in the present simple tense or present tense, or is the statement in the past? And you'll be able to understand or depict or identify the tense of the statement by looking at the main verb. Make use of the main verb in that case. Having identified these 3, the subject, the statement, and the tense, now relate it with the correct verb form of do, which can take do, does, or did. Did used with the past, however, do and does used with the present. Then you narrow down on the use of do and does as taught right away from grade 1. Then you realize that if you narrow down, do is used with I, we, you, and they. However, does is used with he, she, and it. 3rd person pronoun singular. This is basically what we looked at in the previous lesson. So as a continuation of our lesson, we can now look at rule number 5, which states that used to is also replaced by did. Used to is replaced by did. What do I mean by used to replaced by did? When you are looking at tenses, you realize that used to is used to express past simple tense for habitual actions. Past simple tense for habitual actions. So, since used to is used with past simple tense, past simple tense in this regard is denoted by did, because it is used to talk about something that used to take place in the past but is no longer taking place now as we speak. That's why we say that replace used to with did. Consider this simple sentence. Amina used to play netball. Amina used to play netball at the age of 12. Amina used to play netball at the age of 12. This statement is reminding us of what Amina used to do when she was 12 years. Perhaps as we speak now, Amina could be 50. She's no longer playing netball as she used to do when she was at the age of 12. So our guiding factor here is used to. So if you are watching me and you have copied down that statement, underline the word used to with a pencil, and with regard to our role, used to is replaced by did. Below used to write did. Below used to write did. So this did is the one that's going to appear in our question tag. But what is the statement? The statement is positive. And as per our rule number 1, to a positive statement, we add a negative question tag. The negative form of did, which is now did plus not, is did not. And the short form of did not is didn't. And because of Amina, Amina reminds us of third person singular feminine, which shall be denoted by she. And therefore, our question tag now becomes didn't she. So please note that whenever we have used to in a statement, just remind yourself of used to is replaced by did. Because you cannot say used to didn't she. That would be very wrong. But right to say now, didn't she. Rule number 6, that verbs like need and dare, when used in positive statements, verbs like need and dare, when used in positive statements, they are never repeated. They are not repeated in the tag. I repeat, verbs like need and dare, when used in positive statements, and the key word is positive statements, they are not repeated in the tag. Consider sentence. You need to work much harder. You need to work much harder. In this regard, first, the statement is positive. And as the rule states, that need and dare, when used in positive statements, they are not repeated in the tag. Now the question comes, what did we use then in the tag? Very simple. The position of need and dare, when used in the positive statements, is taken up either by do, does, or did, depending on two things. One, that position of need and dare can be replaced by either do, does, or did, depending on two things. One, depending on the tense. Two, depending on the subject. What do I mean? If the tense is present, automatically it will either take do or does. However, if the tense is past, automatically it will take did. Number two, subject. If the subject is third person singular, automatically it will take does in the present. If the subject is first person singular and plural, and second person singular and plural, and third person plural, automatically it will take do. And the remaining all subjects in the past will take did. So, first and foremost, identify the tense in our sentence. The tense is identified by focusing on the main verb. In this case, is need. And need is in the present tense. Because if it were in the past tense, it would be needed. So the tense is present. So if it is present, then we shall use either do or does. Now what substantiates the use of do and does now is a subject. And our subject is you. So you, as I said earlier on, is used with do. The sentence is positive. If it is positive, it takes a negative tag. The negative tag, therefore, of do, which is do plus not, is do not. Short form of do not is don't. Because of you, we now say the answer is don't you. That's the answer. Consider example number 2. Example 2 on the same can be, she dared fight with a hyena. Let's consider that simple sentence. You can see how daring she was fighting a hyena. I don't know how she was armed to fight with a hyena, and always ladies or feminine gender are always panic-stricken and cannot manage even to see a hyena and stand for a minute. But this one, she dared fight with a hyena. The key word here is dared, which is positive. The rule is need and dare used in the positive are never repeated in the tag. Identify two things. First, identify the tense with regard to the main verb, which is dead. Therefore, our tense is past. If it is past, automatically we shall use did. Identify our subject. Our subject is she. Since it is past, we shall use did. The sentence is positive. Therefore, the question tag shall be negative. We add on not to form did not, whose short form is didn't. The question tag therefore becomes didn't she. Let me hope that area is equally clearly understood. Please put at the back of your mind that verbs such as need and dare, when used in the positive statements, they are not repeated in the tag. Instead, make use of do or does or did depending on two things. One, depending on the tense and depending on the subject. Another rule, thus now in this case, is rule number 7. Words like everyone and everybody, words like everyone and everybody, when used in subject and verb agreement, in one way or the other we can call it concord, they are treated as singular. I repeat my statement. Words like everyone and everybody, when used in subject and verb agreement or concord, they are normally treated as singular and shall take a singular verb. However, for the purpose of the question tags, these words are treated as plural, referred to as they. What have I said? Very simple explanation. That words like everyone and everybody, when used in subject and verb agreement, that is concord, they are normally treated as singular and therefore should take a singular verb. However, for the purpose of question tags, these words are referred, or these words are treated as plural and referred to as they. Look at perhaps what you did with your teacher in class 6. Everyone has to pay school fees in time. Everyone has to pay school fees in time. I've only used this sentence to remind you on concord that everyone is a singular subject. We should take a singular verb, and the singular verb in this case is has. Everybody was punished Everybody was punished. Everybody is a singular subject, which has to take a singular verb. You can't say that everybody were punished. Neither can you say everyone have to pay. That is wrong structural sentences. We should now stand out as everyone has, everybody was. So in this case, we can say that everyone and everybody, when used in concord or subject and verb agreement, they are treated as singular and take singular verbs. However, for the purpose of the question tags, these words, everyone and everybody, are treated as plural and should take, or they're treated as plural and are referred to as they. Consider this simple sentence. Consider this simple sentence as, now everybody can't be number one in class. Even if you put all gifted learners in one class, we must have number one, number two, and another one in the last position. And that's why I've come up with this statement that everybody can't be number one in class. To the viewers, in order to be able to successfully get the appropriate question tag for this sentence, get hold of your pencil. First, underline everybody. Then remind yourself of the rule that everyone and everybody are treated as plural for the purpose of the question tags referred to as they. So below everybody, write they. That they alone has tied your hands. It has confined you. Then underline can't to remind you of the nature of the statement. Can't, if I'm to elaborate, is a short form of cannot, which means we have not in that statement. So if we have not in the statement, then we are reminded of the sentence or statement being negative, and our question tag shall be positive. The positive form of cannot, if we are to erase not, then is can. First of all, write here they. Simple as that. After writing they, then get the positive form of cannot, which we have said is can, and put here can. And our question tag becomes can they. So everybody can't be number one in class. Can they? Because of time, may I lead you to another rule, that's rule number 8. Consider the use of the first person pronoun I. First person pronoun I. When this I is used in question tags, apply the following two basic rules. That one, if I is used in the positive statement, the question tag is aren't I. However, if I is used in the negative statement, then the question tag is am I. For example, I am sick. The question tag shall be aren't I. and I am not sick, the question tag shall be am I. Please, don't say or use, for instance, on I am sick, then you say I'm tired. So I was saying that some learners normally make a mistake with this rule. That, for instance, you have a question, I am sick. Then you find someone giving it a question tag as I'm tired or I am tired. These two are wrong responses and are unheard of. The right question tag to I am sick is aren't I? I am not sick, am I? I am teaching English, aren't I? I am not teaching English, am I? I am quite disappointed, aren't I? I am not quite disappointed, am I? Next rule is sentences in the imperative. The request, order, or command. These are sentences without let us. So if you find sentences without let us, these sentences will take will you. For instance, get out of my class. That's an order. The question tag is will you. Please help me with your pen. With your pen. The question tag is will you. That's a request. So sentences which come in this form without let us will always take the question tag will you. However, if the sentences under the same rule now take let us, let us call this one as A and this one referred to as B. So with let us, or abbreviated as let us, then this one shall take shall we. For instance, let us go home. The question tag is shall we. Let us play hide and seek. The question tag is shall we. So you see, in this case, this one has got let us, but these two do not have let us. On the same note, you may find the examiner now change his style of setting the paper. Instead of let us, now the examiner introduces let him, let her, or let them. Please, don't mistake this for that. Don't mistake this for that. These are called examination tricks, which you should look at them comprehensively, leaving no stone unturned. That if it is let us, the question tag is shall we. However, If it is let him, the style has changed. Let her changed. Let them changed. Then the question tag is will you? Let him go home. The question tag should be will you, not shall we. It's important to take note of the two so that you don't mistake and fail when answering these questions. Finally, viewers, can we have rule number 10? The use of this or that followed by the name of a person is referred to as it, not he or she. And I repeat the last rule. The use of this and that followed by the name of a person is referred to as it, not he or she. For instance, that is Omar. Don't say that. I said Omar is third person singular masculine. Then you say is the helping verb. Then you say isn't he. That is wrong. The key word here first is that. So please underline that if you are watching me. And below it, write it. After writing it, underline is, which is positive. And rule number 1, which we said, to a positive sentence, we add a negative question tag. So is should take the negative form, which is plus not, to form is not. Short form of is not is isn't. So because of this that, then we say isn't it, not isn't he. These are very troublesome areas. And please, if you want to answer them successfully, go with the guiding word in the rule. In this case is that. In this case is letters. Under it you write shall we. In this case is let him. Under it you write will you. In this case it's a command. Under it you write will you. If you go with those keywords, you will never have a problem when answering questions on question tags. And these are very examinable area. If you peruse through KCP papers, you will hardly miss at an interval of 3 to 4 years a question on question tags. 1, 2, or 3 questions missing in a paper. May I have with you a very simple exercise for practice. 5 questions. So get your pen and your book and write the following. Instructions. Fill in the blank spaces with the most appropriate question tag. Question 1. Let them go on with the exercise. Let them go on with the exercise. Maybe they are doing the exercise in that class. 2. Let us play football. 3. They used to work hard in class. Number 4, everyone was pleased to meet the president of the United States of America. Then lastly, number 5, we can have a question now on. I just want to pick from our rules. And the number 5 is they need to pull up their socks. Those are 5 questions I've left you with for practice. And in any case you have any squabble or any problem with regard to question tags, please find out from our program, and I should be readily available to assist you. As I leave you, I beg that you observe social distance 1 meter away from your partner, particularly whoever has flu-like symptoms. Sanitize your hands or wash your hands with soap and clean water in order to fight together with us and the government this coronavirus. It's a very tough and pandemic disease that is eating away our people day in, day out. Stay tuned. God bless you. My name is Mr. Wanyonyi. Meet you in the next session. Thank you.